All right. Wait for people to tune in before I continue on, but looks like to me nobody's going to continue in. So I'm just going to continue on. So welcome back. I had to go get some brake pads from O'Reilly's because Detroit axle messed up. So they messed me up. Sent me just the rotors, no pads. So I had to go to O'Reilly's and get some new pads. So my opinion so far of I thought Detroit axle was okay, but it looks like to me they having some problems. So if you've already tuned in already, I was taking these off because I was going to put new ones on, and it's a little hot because I just drove to O'Reilly's. So all it comes is rotors, no pads for you know. I thought it was kind of cheap price, but then I just use regular brake cleaning off the surface of the rotor. They have some kind of a coating of something on it that keeps it from rusting, and so it's a wet rag, so I guess wet is better than no rag, right? Right? So these are the pads we got. From O'Reilly's. So the pad should have came with some sort of lubricant, which I can't use because they didn't send it to me. So luckily I have a little bit of it. So I just put it on the spots they're gonna rub. You don't need a lot, just a little bit. A lot goes a long ways. So that makes sense. All right. You can torque these down if you like. As long as you just make them snug, that's how they came off. They were snug going on, they'll snug go off. Snug go off, huh? Does that make sense? Probably not. These are premiums. These are premium pants. Just snap them out in there. There's all kinds of stuff you can put on the back of these things to keep them from making noise, but everybody has their own little thing. Their own little their own little style, I say. Style. And I've tried a lot of different anti-quieting devices that these little thin glue-on things you stick on the back of them. I've tried those. I've tried this stuff you spray on it. Then you just will let them tack up. There's a couple other things I've tried that, and none of it keeps it from quieting the brakes down. Mainly, it's all has to do with break-in time. You know, you got to stay away from panicking stops. Because the first time you go to stop on these brakes, when you put them on, you're not going to stop like you're supposed to. So you can't just can't put them on, jump in your car, come whipping up to a stop sign behind 3 other cars and slam on the brakes and expect to stop like you did before. It ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It takes a few times of gradually braking to get them to start working right. This seems to be for me, and I'm sure a lot of people, trying to get these little springs to go back down there around the, and it seems like the worst to do it, to put it on, is the bottom. The bottom seems to be the worst part of it. they go on there. So it's the same on that other side. I suggest as soon as you put the rotors on and torque them down to I always go in and pump the brakes up right away. Try to, unless you're like you said, you're in a business setting where you're on a lift. That way you avoid the accidents. Because I could put the wheels on and then drop it on the ground, forget to pump the brakes, and go and do something, and then come back to find out. Just put it in gear, and then all of a sudden I'm driving away without no brakes, because it takes a little bit to pump it up. It takes a bit to pump it up. I think it was three pumps of the pedal to get the brake pedal to be hard again. All right. Let's see. I got to do this side too, but I need to take and I need to turn the wheel the other way. You guys still there with me? I haven't lost you. You got to turn the wheel the other way, because that way the caliper's in front. Always forget this thing here. I don't know why I do. All these cars got this. Can't go nowhere without this thing here. Absolutely nowhere. Guess you guys got a good shot, huh? Hey, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, why don't you go ahead and do that before you leave, because you forget. I forget myself. Times I watching somebody's video and say, hey, I like that, and then all of a sudden I leave. I leave and I go do something else, and I'm thinking, oh shoot, I forgot to subscribe to that guy's channel. And then I go back and try to find it. You know how hard it is with 2-3 million YouTube channels out there now? Once you watch a video, it's kind of like, hey, you know, I kind of like that guy. And then you go back later, and try to find where he was at. Because I do that, what was I doing that on the other day? Somebody was doing some do-yourself stuff, and I said, boy, that's a pretty good idea. That's a pretty good idea. And then I thought to myself later, I don't know, a couple days later, go back to myself and I said, huh, I wish I would have subscribed to that guy's channel, because he really did have a good idea, and now I can't find it. Anyways, it's not like you hear that all the time, right? Everybody wants you to subscribe to their channel, so I just use a screwdriver. I got that fancy tool. I think I've already showed you that fancy tool, haven't I? Let me show you. You might not have seen it before. If you're, like I said, if you're home doing this in the driveway and you're trying to figure out what to do, one of the best things for your back and your knees is one of these pads. I'm telling you right now that should have got one a while ago. I went to help some guy at work. On his brakes, and I said, why don't I just get one of those? Why don't I just buy one, so if I go to help somebody I can save my knees? So anyways, he's kind of sticking there a little bit on the bottoms. Let's pry it up, get it off. Still a lot of wear left, but I was, like I said, I was at the dealer for some recalls. They did an inspection on my car, which I already knew it needed brakes, and this pushes out. pushes out. Hold it. How do I get it loose? Okay. So it just pushes out on them. If you like tools, here's one for you. And it's set up. Hey, it didn't work right. It's set up for duals. Set up for duals. So you got to offset a little bit. It's set up for dual calipers. So you have to set it off to the side. Well, I can do that with a C-clamp. You're right. You're right. You can do that with a C-clamp, or you can do it with a screwdriver. I just did it. And then bam, it's back in. Then you can just release it. And you're done. I slide it back here over top of the axle because this is going to be rusty. I'm going to have to beat the nonsense out of it to get it off. These are just 15mm nuts. These guys. And I was down the back. And I could have got my impact socket for this. But I'm sure that most people will be doing their brakes in the driveway like I'm doing for you guys now. Probably won't have these fancy kit tools. They'll be doing it with a wrench or a ratchet. They won't have any power tools. They'll just have manual tools. Their arms. Some of these screws I've noticed before, like that one there, has thread lock on there. If that's what you want to put back on to keep it from vibrating out, then I'm all for it. But if you don't have thread lock, then you get this down to thumb, just like tight. She ain't gonna come tight on you. But if you don't tighten it up right, you're gonna. Now I'm gonna have to smack on this a few times with a sledgehammer to get it loose, because the back side of the hat has got rust on it. And I didn't show you of the other back side of that rotor, but I can show you where the rust builds up. See where the rust builds up right here? Right through there? That's why it's a hard time to get off. It's because of that rust. Yeah. I don't know where these are made at. I'm sure they're anymore everything's made in Mexico, so. Is there an easy way to get these off? No, there's no. I have not found any easy ways to get them off. If you have an air hammer deal, you can beat on it for a while, or you can just get your sledgehammer, climb up behind it, give it a few whacks. And see, I didn't get that up high enough. There we go. Now you can do the wiggly woo. So you get it out.
Huh? Yeah. Here.
Oh, it's her leaving on me.
What?
You're leaving on me?
What?
What are you guys leaving in your car?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll have to put the filter hood on it.
I thought you were doing your car.
I am.
So I have to take it to Grandma Sunday. So.
Okay.
Did you see that light's broken? The little one in the front, running light?
No, I didn't. Oh, look at that.
I don't know. It's not my problem. Your mommy told me she wants you at your her house. Yeah, I got it. We need the car seat though. Yeah, yeah. We need the car seat though. In your car. Here, here's the tablet. Car's getting the car seat for you.
I'm sorry about that. You're still there? Haven't lost you. My wife had to take my granddaughter home, and so I had. This thing jumps on mad. I don't know which way to go with it. Try to get as best you can. If you're following along before, I just use anesthesia on it. Just lightly. I coat it mainly around the hub because that's where it rusts the most. And you can put it on the inside if you want to keep the rust down. Just a fine film, it'll spread. You know what I'm saying? It'll spread. Alright? That's all you gotta do there. Now on these, again, if you haven't seen the other one, I just clean these off as best you can with a screwdriver. Or you can use a wire, you can use that wire brush. Let me show you when I'm done here. I can't get the camera to point down that way. This tripod doesn't do that very well. Doesn't seem to want to go down the funny angles. It's like straight on or straight up in the air, but All right, let me put the rotor on, and again, I just take and brake clean them off, wipe them off. Preferably a dry rag, but if you don't have a dry rag, wet rag will probably have to do. It's not like these rotors are not going to get wet from the rain, because they will. Just the idea is you need to get the film that they put on and keep from rusting. Very light film. Very light film. In fact, I've had rotors where, what was it, 6-8 months later, I've opened them up, and oops, sorry, you're in the wrong direction. 6-8 months later, I've opened up rotors, and they just had a little bit of a smear of rust on them, and that's all. So I just put it down in there in the cavities where the pads slide back and forth. You can use the, if you're really talented, you can take the brake pad and slide it back and forth in there, in the where the pads slide, and it'll remove that rust too. Some people say, I've seen people sandblast them. Problem with sandblast them is now you got it all brand new, and what happens is then it flash rusts, and then everything gets rusty. So you just had one spot, now you got everything rusty. I don't know if that's what you want. I wouldn't want it. I mean, initially it looks good. Initially it looks, wow, look how nice it looks. But we all know that without a coat of paint over them, a serious coat of paint, she's just going to turn back to rust again. Even faster. I think it's going to be faster than that. Yes, faster than what you want. All right, there's that. I didn't show you on the other side that I put a little bit of grease in here. Make sure there's no junk on the pins. Just put a little bit of that on there, just a little bit. You'll know if there's junk on it, plus it'll look like it. Right, now I'm trying to figure out what to do with the brake pads. Anybody know? Now the inboard one you just stick in there. Guess you should probably not do it with you got the other pad in your hand, so one pad at a time, you know what I'm saying? There it goes. Takes a little bit of a few grunts to get it to go. But you know when it's there. Alright, so this slides in there. And then you just screw your pins back in. Careful that you got them going straight. If you got some kind of power tool, make sure you start them first. Because this turns your day into what, holy smokes, I got something done, into now didn't get nothing done. Just snug is fine. Snug is good. Snug. And then you also do these little caps. Don't forget the caps. I've done that before. Put the wheel on, forget the caps on, and then have to turn around and climb underneath the vehicle and put the caps back on. So there you go. Other than putting your clip on, this clip here. Let's try the bottom one first. Because the other side I did the bottom one last. Let's see if it makes a difference on this side. Nope, see? It just still, there you go. Try the tops. All right. Still got to use a screwdriver underneath it. There we go. All right. Sometimes to torque the wheel back on is best to straighten the vehicle up if you can. In case you didn't happen to notice that, I already pumped the brake pedal up because my wife just left her car. She's got a Toyota Matrix, and I got to put a thermostat and a gasket in there. And I don't remember doing one of those. If it was so long ago. So I'm gonna bring you back, pal. It'll probably be like 40 some minutes before she's back with a car. And then I'll be doing that car too on the same channel. So if you want to, I'm just going to torque these guys down with the torque wrench. Sometimes you'll notice it kind of pushing in. Notice how it was pushing in there? That's because it was seating. The rim was seating on the hub. And missing one lug nut, so. All right, so one more. I'm gonna always lose one more in the scheme of things. Now my torque wrench, you probably won't even have one. This one's a snap-on one. I've had it for quite a long time, and I torque these at 80 foot-pounds, and my impact does much more than that. But there's nothing. If you've ever had a wheel fall off on you, see, look. See how I missed one? If you've ever had a wheel fall off on you, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I worked this guy's car. He says, yeah, I got this thumping noise in the front, and I'm thinking, I went and looked at it, and it looked like to me it was all torqued down. Looked like it was tight. I got a mile and a half from my house. The wheel flew off, went across the road. Car went down on the ground, grinding, and I almost thought I crapped my pants. Seriously, I almost did. Well, that's the first time. Second time, I had a Ford Edge. Rotated my tires. I was working third shift. Rotated my tires. Was coming home. I heard a thump, thump, thump. What's that? Nah, it's just all in my head. No, it wasn't. The back tire came off. I think I just started YouTube. The back tire came off. A car like this. Past me. The back tire came off past me, went down the center of the road, and went over the ditch. The whole time I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if somebody was coming the other way, boom, boom. All right, I'll let you go. Thanks for watching. I'll be back in 45 minutes with the other car. Where you going?